if we look up the word feminism, if you look it up, it actually says equality between the sexes. So whatever you identify with, whether it's girl, boy, or something else, it doesn't matter. If that word girl power can evolve to inner power, we all want to find our power. We all want to feel loved, don't we? We all want to feel, the best version of who we can be. And I think that's the most important message. That's a timeless message.
Welcome to The Stacks, a podcast about books and the people who read them. I'm your host, Tracy Thomas, and today I could not be more excited to welcome to The Stacks Geri Halliwell-Horner. Geri is an author, performer, and pop culture icon, best known as Ginger Spice from the Spice Girls. Her latest book, Rosie Frost, Ice on Fire, is the second installment in her middle grade adventure series about a determined girl navigating a mysterious island school while uncovering secrets about herself and her past. Today, Geri and I talk about her evolution as a writer, girl power, and what it's meant for her to be an inspiration to young girls. Don't forget, our book club pick for April is Blessing the Boats, New and Selected Poems 1988 through 2000 by Lucille Clifton. Tiana Clark will be back on Wednesday, April 30th to discuss this book with me, so please be sure to read along and then tune in. Quick reminder, everything we talk about on each episode of The Stacks can be found in the link in the show notes. And if you love this podcast and you want inside access to it, there are two ways you can support The Stacks. One is by joining us over on Patreon, our bookish community known as the Stacks Pack, where you get bonus episodes, access to our Discord, our mega reading challenge, and to be part of an incredible community of readers. The other way you can support is by subscribing to my Unstacked newsletter over on Substack. You get all my hot takes, plus bonus episodes, and a lot of fun pop culture and book content. Go to tracythomas.substack.com and subscribe. Okay. Now it is time for my conversation with Geri Halliwell-Horner. All right, everybody. I'm so excited. I'm joined today by Geri Halliwell-Horner. You all may remember her from a little music group she was part of back in the 90s, the Spice Girls, but I know her from her two children's middle grade novels that sent her Rosie Frost. The latest one just came out yesterday. It's called Rosie Frost, Ice on Fire. Geri, welcome to The Stacks.
Hello. Oh my God, it's so exciting to be here. And then to hear you say the title of my book, I'm like, oh my God. It's like thrilling. I'll tell you, it's like a dream come true. And I'm like, something in your imagination. And then you suddenly hear it. You're like, wow.
Okay, I have to know, why did you want to write these books, this book? How did this come to you? How did this even become a dream?
Okay, so I started writing when, God, I've always loved the power of words. And that, pre the band, I studied English literature.
Oh.
And I always loved reading. It was always part of my love, my DNA. And then before I put my love of words in songs, and then there was a period, I read this book called The Artist's Way.
Okay.
And it gets you to do lots of little practices of a series of like tasks. And that's when I came up with my first book series, and that was called Eugenia Lavender, and that did really well, but that was for much younger. And then I thought, well, shall I age her up? And then I was advised by a very experienced agent. He said, no, start again. So then I thought, okay, I felt like the world needs a new hero, a different kind of hero, someone that was vulnerable and not perfect, and that we can all relate to, finding the courage you never knew you had.
Yeah.
And that's where it started from. And I'm always character-led.
Okay.
I love finding yourself and your friendships on, whether it's in movies or books. So, yeah. No, that's where it started from. And I thought it was character first.
I love that. Let's backtrack a hair and tell people who aren't familiar with the book, will you tell us in like 30 seconds or so what Rosie Frost, Ice on Fire is about?
Okay, so Rosie Frost is a heartfelt action adventure. She is an orphan at this school, Hever Bridge, on this island, Bloodstone, which is like, imagine Jurassic Park, but for endangered animals. And the school was built by Queen Elizabeth I 500 years ago, but now it's current day. And Rosie Frost, she just lost her mum. She's orphaned and she's sent there and she doesn't know why. She goes through a series of challenges and now cut to, she found out that her mother was murdered, right? And there's been a murder on the island. And she's like, So she's trying to find out who the murderer is. She's full of like revenge on her mind, unanswered questions, and there's a little bit of love in there.
Yeah. What I really like about Rosie and what I like so much about the book, as you were saying, she's tough and she's like gonna do it, but she's very tender. She's like a very sweet girl who sort of is forced into this situation, as opposed to, I think so many young heroines are often, they're just tough as nails across the board. And I like that Rosie has that balance of like, she doesn't actually want to be doing this. She just wants to be texting her mom pineapples, but instead she's out here like solving murders and like dealing with weird animals and bullies. And I really like that about her.
Oh, that's lovely, because that's the point of her. She's modern. Most of us, the truth is, aren't we all sometimes a bit afraid? And we're going, how do I do this? I don't know. I don't know the answers. And actually, Rosie, she's just like, okay, I'm going to have to make the best of this. And actually, she finds a strength through the challenges, phases, as we do.
Yeah.
And for me, it was important that, the people around her, that, the male characters are just as important, that, they are a reflection of modern day boys now. The boys sometimes cry, but they're not wet wipes. They're still strong and well-rounded.
Yeah. You have daughters. Did they influence at all sort of your wanting to write these books and for this age group?
I think so. I always just feel like it doesn't matter who we are or how old you are. We need to see ourselves in stories. We process stuff through stories, and whether it's on book or film. And I just kept on going. I followed the rules. There's 4 rules in book 1 that Anne Boleyn gives to her daughter, Queen Elizabeth I. Those 4 rules, I actually went, God, I'm following those rules personally. Like, have courage, united we stand, like, I need you. And the 3rd one is never give up. So there is a warning, I think, that comes with book 2. Pick it up. And I think it's quite hard to put down, more than, like, it's quite page turnery. You're like, I want to know, I did it on purpose. I want to know next and next and next and next.
Yeah, it definitely has a page turner vibe, like from the beginning. I mean, something happens in a bathroom very early on, and you're just like, well, now I need to know who this is, where we're going, and why.
I did it on purpose.
Were you a fantasy reader as a kid? Are you a fantasy reader as an adult? Where did this sort of genre come from for you?
I think I would put this genre as magical realism.
Okay.
A lot of everything you read is, and not intentionally, but some of it is real.
Yeah.
There is a moment you're going to find out, I don't know if you've got to it yet, that Harry Arundel, he's one of the professors there. He is bringing animals from the past back to life.
Right.
Okay. And he reveals this real life dodo. I thought, oh, that'll be interesting. So I made that. It actually really is happening.
Someone's bringing back the dodo bird?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know that. So it was sort of unintentional. So there is it leans into science on this one. There's black hole, fusion energy, but it's sort of in the backdrop of it. And then it gets bigger. And so why do I go to this? I have a fascination. I'm quite a curious person.
Okay.
I would say, like, I like history a bit. I like a bit of science, I like a bit of that. But I'm a bit nerdy, but I'm a lazy nerd. Like, when I was researching and interviewing people, sometimes I'm like, can you say that again? Can you say that again? For sure. When I was speaking to scientists, I was like, oh my goodness. But it was just in the background of the story. So it just gives it the plus. So what you see, what you read, there is elements of truth to it. But really, it's a fast pace and it's murderous.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it has those like elements. I'm so fascinated that you were like in English was your sort of background in school. Has becoming an author changed your relationship to reading in any way?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's funny you say that. It's a bit like as a musician, you can unpick music and go, I can hear how they did that. Blah, blah. I definitely, you can start analyzing how they've done this. However, a great story just sucks you in anyway. Yes. Okay, for example, I got recommended just by accident to read the story Rebecca.
Okay,
right?
Yes.
By Daphne du Maurier. And that is, how many, 90 years old, probably. I was hooked in. And so it's ageless, it's timeless. So you can enjoy anything. I'll enjoy any genre.
Yeah. What are other books you've loved? What are some of your faves?
I would say 20 years ago, I loved The Book Thief.
Okay, yes.
I thought it was original and fantastic. And that was very transporting. And it's got a historical value to it. I tell you what was a lean into entry point was The Other Boleyn Girl.
Oh, yeah.
But then I've talked about Tomorrow. That made me cry. And I didn't think I was going to love that. It's about computer nerds. And then at the moment, what am I reading at the moment? Okay, I'm reading, Robert Harris, Precipice.
Okay.
He wrote Wave, right?
Oh, yes. I just read that last year.
But then I'm trying to make myself read it because someone else does it. And oh God, I'll show you this actually. This computer is rested on it.
On your books. What is that?
War and Peace.
Oh, you're doing it. How's it going?
I'm trying. Oh my God. Okay. So that's me. I've got 2 books on the go. Sometimes I have more. I'm committed. I'm doing it. I don't care if it takes me all year. I am going to read this book.
You can do it.
Yeah. So apparently you get into it. Sometimes
that's what they say.
Yeah.
I've never read it.
Yeah. The same. This is the first. But I think someone said it was a screenwriter said to me, I asked him, what's your favorite book? And he said, War and Peace. And I thought, I'm going to give it a go.
Okay. That's amazing.
And it's got really small print.
Yeah.
Can I just tell you how many pages it's got?
You can.
Oh my God. It has got 1,374 pages. 1,000. Like Rosie Frost goes to 400 and something. And I thought, oh, I'm demanding a lot of my readers. Maybe I should have, it's a
If
commitment.
only you had the ego of an old Russian, you would say Rosie needs another 1,000 pages. Easy.
I think it's such a big ask to ask a reader to commit, really commit, to invest their time. It's huge.
Yeah, it is. I mean, so the old Russian novels like Anna Karenina as well, they were serialized. So when they came out in parts. So you would get like a book at a time. So they were more like a series than here's 13,000 or 1,300 pages. So at the time, it felt more like soap opera-y. Now it just feels like homework.
Isn't that interesting? Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so did you get what was War and Peace?
I think so, because who's that? Tolstoy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was also serialized. I don't know for sure. Okay, I want to shift gears a little bit because I first have to confess something, and then I want to talk about something else.
So confess like I'm a priest.
No, I'm going to confess. Well, yes, I guess, in a pop culture priest. The Spice Girls was my first ever concert.
Was it?
I was a huge fan. I still am. Played it last night for my twins. They were loving Stop Right Now, Thank You Very Much. They're 5, obsessed, wouldn't stop singing it. My one kid loves now to go, Stop Right Now, Thank You Very Much. I'm like, okay, you're welcome very much, you little rude baby. But I was always a ginger. I look like a scary. I often got cast as a scary, but I had another black friend. And she got to be scary and I got to be Ginger. And I've always thought of myself as a Ginger. So I have to just say, I'm really like personally, the inner child in me, just so thrilled to have you here. I love.
Oh, that's lovely.
I mean, and I do want to ask you actually about fans and fandom, because I'm so interested in you. You know, the Spice Girls came out in the 90s. People my age, millennials, you all were so important to us when we were, you know, preteens and teens. And you're sort of writing to that same age group now. So I'm wondering for you, if there's something that speaks to you about that kind of age for young girls that like you really feel like you have something to say, or that you're able to connect with them in a way that feels meaningful to you.
Okay. It's funny. Ice on Fire, it talks, the premises, the genesis of it, it says 14 is the age of power. Okay. Now, different periods in our life, we can suddenly, it's almost like shedding a skin, or, you know, we step into a new phase. And it really is that. I think it's a different era. You suddenly go, this is my identity. I'm owning it. And I think that really happens at 14. It happens again at 30, you know, and older. It's just another era. And reclaiming that. And it says there have been queens at the age of 14. And I think, you know, we're impressionable. We're sort of looking for answers, that we're evolving. At all ages we are. You know, if I can see it, we can be it. So I love speaking to actually any generation, but if I can speak to a younger one, great. But I really feel that this book is, you know, if you're 27, you connect. My ambition is, yes, it will speak to you if you're 14 or 10, but also if you're 27, 37 and 57, doesn't matter. It's a timeless subject of going, your heart is on fire. And sometimes we are ice on fire. You know, it's both. We are both. Sometimes we like full of revenge and angry. And then sometimes we're full of passion. We're all of that.
Yeah. Have you heard from your younger readers from the first book? How did their experience with the book sort of impact you as you were working on the second one?
Oh my goodness. It's so thrilling. And, you know, when readers come up to me and say, I really liked, you know, Ottilie, or I can't stand that Hemlock. Wait till you see what happens in number 2, in Ice on Fire. Oh my God, the behavior. And actually, even Rosie, her behavior is questionable. That there is a darkness in all of us. And it's whether we notice it and recognize it and go, could have done that a bit better. And she sort of does. There is a moment where you go, really? A little bit Britney-esque.
Okay, we love it.
And the snake. It's the snake, and she does something that's quite. I call it the ricochet of revenge, and it can happen in anyone's walk of life. You know, I can say, Tracy, you really annoyed me, and so and now I'm going to do this back, and then Tracy, you go, Geri, you really annoyed me, right? I'm going to, and it just goes a ricochet
back and forth.
Back and forth. Oh, and that resentment builds. Or I can say, do you know what? I'm just going to let it go. Let it go. Doesn't mean I'm a doormat, but maybe I'm going to let this go. It asks those questions of ourselves. You know, when things don't go well, how am I going to respond? You know, and Rosie is full of, she's full of absolute anger and resentment. Her mother has been killed.
Yeah, and grief. I mean, these are grief books.
Yeah, it's about grief, the underpinning. There is a running theme throughout all the books and the characters' relationships with our mums. You know, it's our first interaction, whether it's a good one or a bad one, you know, whether it colors our, you know, our being. I didn't realize till afterwards. I was like, gosh, you really lean into that. Someone else pointed it out, and you really, all the you know, characters, even the new ones, all are shaped by their mothers.
Yeah, I mean, aren't we all?
And our fathers, yeah, aren't we all? Aren't we all?
Yeah. The theme of girl power sort of runs through this book, right? And I'm wondering why you think that's still, if you think that still is a resonant theme, and why, and also how your relationship has changed to the idea of girl power as feminism has changed so much over the last 30 years.
Yeah, if we look up the word feminism, if you look it up, it actually says equality between the sexes. So whatever you identify with, whether it's girl, boy, or something else, it doesn't matter. To me, that everybody matters. Yeah. And actually, if that word girl power can evolve to inner power, we all want to find our power, whether it's through that courage, whether it's through love. We all want to feel loved, don't we? We all want to feel, the best version of who we can be. We all live in our truths. And I think that's the most important message. That's a timeless message.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. Valentine's Day is upon us, and I've got love on the brain. Love for books, duh, of course. Hello. Did you forget what podcast you're listening to? I love bringing you all great reads, exclusive author interviews, and behind the scenes book gossip. But I can only do that with your support over on Patreon and Substack. Our Stacks Patreon community, also known as the Stacks Pack, is where you can go for book club meetups, a private, very active Discord, and a year-long mega reading challenge to help you achieve all your reading goals. Plus, you also get that monthly bonus episode. Now, over on the Substack, you can subscribe to my newsletter, Unstacked, where I keep the book conversations going. I also give you a healthy dose of sports and pop culture, definitely some hot takes happening over there. And again, that bonus episode. If you don't have a few dollars to spare, don't worry. There are free options on the Substack and the Patreon to get you a little extra Stacks magic. Making this podcast is a total team effort, and by supporting my Patreon and my Substack, you allow me to support my amazing team that makes the show possible every single week. So if you or your friends are looking to meet other book lovers and support this indie podcast, come hang out with me on Patreon, Substack, or both. I would love to have you. And since we're talking about love, you can gift subscriptions to the Patreon and the Substack for that special reader in your life. For the Stacks Pack, head to patreon.com/thestacks. And for the newsletter, head to tracythomas.substack.com. And also, there are links to both in the show notes. Okay, see you in the Stacks. Okay, great. We're back. How do you name your characters? How did you come up with all these people?
Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, so there's a new dude in this called Ludo, and I just meet people. I met a guy called Ludo.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah. And this guy that I know, I don't know him well. He was going out with an Ottilie, and I kept it. I banked it. Who he thinks? There were actually people that I go, oh, that's good. Always collecting little magpie. Rosie, she just. That came.
You knew it was Rosie instantly.
Yeah, absolutely. I played around actually with her surname, but then I really loved the idea that Rosie Frost, this sort of parallel of both, the mirror. Wow, and she's both.
What was the hardest part of writing the book?
Okay, this is something I've had to learn: is discipline of threading. The second go, I wrote out more of the timeline, the theme of it, structure before I began, and that's a discipline. Another author told me to do that the first time round. Some authors, there's no right or wrong way. Some authors just go on their trail, adventure, but the book 2, I did it more structured, and actually it helped me because you can still be creative, but it just gives you some boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
I think what was the hard? I think editing is really hard.
Yeah,
you get all these notes, and it's like, oh my god, there's different levels of it.
Yeah. Have you ever heard the phrase plotting or pantsing that authors say?
Yeah. And first book I did pants. You call it pantsing. The first book I did pantsing. Second book, I did plotting.
Yes. And for people who are like, what does that mean? Pantsing is flying by the seat of your pants when you write, whereas plotting is like you have an outline or you lay things out, you plot it out, you have a plan. Did you ever want to stop writing or throw the book away and just be like, it's one book. I don't want to do the second one.
I always knew that it was 3. Yeah, okay. I always knew it was 3.
Have you started writing book 3 yet?
I've literally, yes, I have. Okay. I mean, I'm doing the whole outline, and I've started to really like hone it down to, it knows what it is now. And I've had my aha moment. I tell you what I do like about it. When you have to go on the research trips.
Yeah.
I interviewed Brian Cox, who's a physicist.
Okay.
And then they're sharing their experience with you. It's amazing. Yeah. I mean, for the book lovers, I mentioned Philippa Gregory. So I met her when I first started, maybe 17 years ago. And then she gave me a quote. It's on the English version. It's not an American one yet. But she gave me a strap line. She read it of Ice and Fire, and then she was in my kitchen and giving me tips, and had a point on Henry VIII, and I was like, oh my God, the door opener for me into historical fiction is now in my kitchen.
Yeah, I mean that's like the coolest thing about how life works, right?
Isn't it brilliant?
I mean, that's how I feel right now talking to you.
You know what? We all inspire each other at different times, don't we?
Yeah.
We're all like pulling each other over the wall.
Yeah.
I think, and we inspire each other at different times. Everybody has something shining within them that, wants to come through. And sometimes we just need that encouragement.
Yeah. And the space.
Yeah. The space, the real key opener for creativity. Do you know what it is? Allow oneself to be bored, or a little bit not preoccupied or consistently stimulated from the outside, but allow the inside to come through. But that means allowing space.
Yeah. Do you know who Twyla Tharp is, the choreographer?
No.
So she's amazing. And she has a book called The Creative Habit that came out when I was in college, and it's still one of the most important books for me. I reread it so often, but one of the things she always talks about is how she always starts in an empty, clean white room, because she needs that nothing, no input, which is sort of what you're talking about. And I always say, I have my best ideas in the shower because I have no phone, I have no music, I have nothing to write with. I just have my brain and I'm just in there. And that is where, if I'm working on an interview and I'm stuck on a question, or how do I want to ask this, or what do I want to talk about with this person, I'll be in the shower and then I'll all of a sudden be like, oh, that's it. So I agree. I think there's something to that. No input kind of boredom.
Yeah, I suppose it's I'm learning. It's that infinite wisdom from within. It's in us all. That we have all the answers, the truth, all inside of us.
Yeah.
And allowing it and to access it, to give ourselves the space to hear it, rather than stuffing it with, constant activity, distraction. And when the truth is in us all, and allowing that sort of beauty and truth, it's maybe to come through.
Yeah. And being open to hearing it or sensing what's coming out.
Yeah. And then being brave enough to act on it.
Yeah. Well, that part's really hard. That's the hardest part of being creative, I think, is being willing to put the work out into the world, right? To be able to actually say, I made this. What do you think?
Yes. And somewhere I read this saying, and there's 2 things. It said, failure is feedback. And fail well. And it was do you know, it was in something really small where I read this. It was Dog Man. Do you know Dog Man?
Oh yeah, the police dog.
Yeah,
cartoon book. Yeah,
a cartoon book. And I was just reading it with my son, And they were talking about, that they're going to be creative, and everyone was a bit frightened to be creative. And then he went, okay, I want you to create a story, a cartoon, but I want you to think I'm going to fail as I do it. Yes, they wrote really outlandish, like you think, oh my goodness, but actually with that freedom to just like go for it no matter what.
Yeah. This is a real hard shift, but I always ask everybody about this, and we're coming to the end of our time. So how do you write? How often? How many hours a day? Is there music or no? Are you home? Are you in the world? Are there snacks and beverages? That part's important.
Okay,
Rituals.
I've learned different things as I've gone along. And for me, there isn't a right way to do it. And there's different things. Okay. And other writers have shared their experience. The first thing was to leave the phone outside the room.
Okay.
The phone is a creative killer, because turn off notifications from your laptop, because otherwise it pulls you out.
Yeah.
Okay? And then you're distracted. That's one. Definitely set dates, like time, and because otherwise we can go, oh, I need to go and do this, I need to go that. No, it isn't when you feel like it. You're going to be at the desk at 9 o'clock till 12 o'clock. That's it. That is your time. Doesn't matter, whatever. Even if you write one sentence, that's your time. And then sometimes I've got out of bed in the middle of the night and just felt I just wanted to write something.
Yeah.
I write notes all the time, to myself. I think, oh, that's a really good.
On paper or in your phone?
Well, thoughts on my phone now, but I've written things on the back of a. You know what this is? So, yeah, I'm going to share it. On an aeroplane, I've written ideas on the back of a sick bag. Like
yeah. What about writing snacks and beverages? Any?
Yeah, but I normally use that as break. Sometimes every 20 minutes, if my head is like going and get have a drink or go and have a cup of tea. And the other thing I would say as well is keep sending what I've written, sending it on email to myself.
Oh.
Because you want to save it. Because can you imagine if your computer crashes?
Yeah. I see.
Horrible feeling.
Be prepared for anything. The other question I always ask is, what's a word you can never spell correctly on the first try?
Do you know what? Sometimes I don't know if it's because the phone writes for you. Sometimes you can get a mental block on spelling. Like I went to write the word lenses today.
Like for your glasses?
Yes, lenses. Or lens. And I second guessed myself.
This is a word I also can't spell because I think it should be Lense.
Yes. And what is it?
That's what I think. I think it's Lens, right? Like a len. I don't know. I have a really hard time with this.
I spelled it wrong.
I'm looking it up right now. Lens. Lens is a lens for glasses. Is Lense a word? No, Lense is not a word. But you're not alone. This is one I never remember whenever anybody asks me words I can't spell, but it is one that I have struggled with for a long time.
Lens. So actually, could I text someone the word lens, as in straight down the lens, and I've spelled it wrong.
See? Well, amazing. We love bad spelling here. I'm a terrible speller.
Yeah, I need a spell check. It's so annoying.
Yeah, I need spell check too in life. Like I always think about school teachers who write on the board. I'm like, if you're a bad speller, you're just opening yourself up to the kids just making so much fun of you.
But I think because we've got spell check now, we can get a little bit.
Yeah. We rely on it.
Rely on it. So we become a little bit on that.
Well, I can say confidently that while I'm definitely a bad speller now, I was also a bad speller as a child. For some reason, it just does not stick in my brain. I just refuse to remember.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't sound as it's
it doesn't look right. It doesn't sound right. Very phonetic. So anything, if there's like a lot of consonants, I get it wrong because I'm like, how many M's, how many C's? I don't know. Anyways.
Successful.
That's hard. I think that's a lot of doubles. I don't know,
It
but not at
is
the end. I think there's only one L at the end.
2 collars, 2 socks.
Oh,
That's how
someone
I
else
remember
was
it.
doing it. 2 collars, 2 socks. But what has 2 collars? Like 2 socks makes sense because you have 2 feet, you need 2 socks, but I only have 1 neck. So shouldn't it be 1 collar, 2 socks?
That's how I've remembered it. 2 collars, 2 socks.
I clearly am misunderstanding the memory device, but or making it too literal. Well, since we're almost out of time, I just have about 2 more questions for you. One is for people who love these books. What are some other books that you might recommend to them that are in conversation with the Rosie Frost series?
It's not trying to be the same because I think so. Harry Potter obviously is about, is a story about a kid that is sent to a school.
Yeah.
That is a similarity, but here we've got a female protagonist and it's about the power within.
Yeah.
So that is a similarity. I can't think of anything that's similar. Can you think of anything? I would say it's it's unairbrushed.
Yeah.
It's an unairbrushed adventure, which for me is very modern.
Yeah.
Like you'll feel Rosie's pain.
Yeah. I mean, maybe because I've been reading these books recently too, but she sort of has some Katniss Everdeen in her, some Hunger Games in her.
Okay. There is a little bit of that, but the difference is I would say she's more vulnerable.
Yeah.
She hasn't quite she's having to find the courage. She's like, I'm not sure.
But they're in conversation. They're sort of in the same kind of like figuring it out, having to be tough when they don't necessarily want to be. I mean, the stories are very different. The worlds are different, but there's something in there.
Yeah, there is a little bit of that Katniss, a little bit, but there's a little bit of love in there. But then it's wrapped in conservation and but the love and the human relationships isn't there. I don't know what else there is.
That's good. That's good. You answered it.
I'd
last
say
question.
Mean Girls meets Gladiator.
Yes, I love that. That's great. That's great. That's actually really funny. I'm like picturing like Regina George and George Clooney like going head to head. Is it George Clooney? No, who is it? It's the other guy, Russell Crowe. I was like the other guy who looks like George Clooney. Don't cut that, Christian. People know I'm so bad at so many celebrities. I can never remember.
Makes you quite again likable because we're all that.
I can never remember. I can only remember Geri Halliwell-Horner, the only celebrity that ever mattered to me.
Thank you so much, and thank you for being ginger.
Yeah,
that ginger, and Rosie is ginger on the hair color, but actually ginger actually means like when she gingerly did something. She's like, oh, I'm gonna like careful, go for it. It's a spirit within.
Do you still feel like ginger, or do you feel like a totally different person?
It's within us all. We're all just different layers, aren't we?
Yeah. I just think about like being known for something like from so many years before. Like if you feel like obviously you've grown and you've changed, but like to so many people, you're this like 20 something. And I wonder if you still see yourself in that girl. I
think we just evolve. Your podcast is 7 years old.
Yeah.
Right? And we evolve, we grow. It's natural. There's the essence of us that, remain. That's part of life, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Okay, last question. If you could have one person, dead or alive, read this book, who would you want it to be?
Anne Boleyn.
Ooh, good one.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's almost her redemption, or Queen Elizabeth I. This was this was her rebrand.
Yeah.
This was her rebrand that she deserves to be heard.
Yeah, she gets a bad right in history.
Yeah, I think, do you know what? If she was here now, I'd say, you know what, girl? We hear you, we see you, and we love you, okay? And we're rebranding you. And your daughter, Queen Elizabeth I, you are fantastic too. Slay you.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. That's a perfect place to end. Geri, thank you so much for being here. This was just amazing. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And congratulations on 7 years of this podcast. and you've done amazing. And a big hello and thank you to everyone listening. Have a beautiful day. And yeah, you've got this. Mwah.
And everyone else, we will see you in the stacks. All right, y'all, that does it for us. Thank you so much for listening. And thank you again to Geri Halliwell-Horner for joining the show. Thank you also to Emma Eels and Emma Pels for helping to make this conversation possible. Remember, our book club pick for April is Blessing the Boats by Lucille Clifton, which we will discuss on Wednesday, April 30th with Tiana Clark. If you love this podcast and you want inside access to it, head to patreon.com/thestacks and join the Stacks Pack. And you can check out my newsletter at tracythomas.substack.com. Make sure you're subscribed to The Stacks wherever you listen to your podcasts. And if you're listening through Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave us a rating and a review. For more from The Stacks, follow us on social media at The Stacks Pod on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. And check out our website, thestackspodcast.com. This episode of The Stacks was edited by Christian Duenas with production assistance from Megan Caballero and Waikia Freelo. Our graphic designer is Robin McCrite, and our theme music is from Tegirigis. The Stacks is created and produced by me, Tracy Thomas.